everyone could follow the online session. In the last session, we learned about phases of photosynthesis and the byproducts formed during photosynthesis. Today, we will learn about the topic after photosynthesis. After photosynthesis. The byproducts formed during photosynthesis are glucose and oxygen. Then what happens to this glucose and oxygen formed during photosynthesis? Oxygen is released into the atmosphere through stomata. Oxygen is released into the atmosphere through stomata. Then what happens to glucose? Before we learn about the changes that takes place in glucose, I would like to seek your attention to a question prepared by a 9th standard student. The question is, if glucose is only prepared in plants, then how do we get the different nutrients from plant products? I will repeat the question once again. If glucose is only prepared in plants, then how do we get different nutrients from plant products? That we will learn in detail today. So we know that the byproduct formed during photosynthesis is glucose and oxygen. The glucose, it is easily soluble in water, so cannot be stored as such in leaves. So it has to be converted into different forms. So glucose, first it is converted into starch and stored in leaves. Glucose is converted into starch and stored in leaves because starch is insoluble in water. Starch is insoluble in water. When required, the starch will be converted into sucrose and carried through the phloem vessel to different parts of the plant body. When required, the starch is converted into sucrose and carried to different parts of the plant body. Look at the illustration what is given here. During photosynthesis, the byproduct formed is glucose. It is converted into starch. It is carried in the form of sucrose through phloem vessel. And this sucrose, it is used for metabolic activities. When it is carried to different parts of the plant body, it is stored in different forms. It is stored in different forms. It can be stored as starch in tubers. It can be stored as carbohydrate in cereals. It can be stored as proteins in legumes. It can be stored as fat in oil seeds. It can be stored as fructose in fruits. It can be also stored as sucrose in sugarcane. I will repeat once again. The glucose, it is converted into starch. Starch is insoluble in water. When required, the starch is converted into sucrose and it is carried to different parts of the plant body and utilized for metabolic activities. This sucrose, when it reaches different parts of the plant body, it can be stored in different forms. The first form what we discussed is in the form of starch. Example is in case of tubers, for example tapioca. Second one, carbohydrates. Example is cereals. The example for cereals, rice, wheat, etc. In the form of proteins, it is stored in legumes. Example, green gram, black gram, etc. In the form of fat, in oil seeds. For example, sunflower seeds, mustard seeds, etc. Then, in the form of fructose in fruits. Example, apple, orange, etc. Also, in the form of sucrose itself. In example is sugarcane. Hope you understood what happens to the glucose, what is formed during photosynthesis. The next topic is plant and its economic importance. Do plants produce only food and oxygen? No. It provides many value-added products also. Example, coffee, rubber, pepper, cocoa, etc. Along with providing value-added products, the processing as well as marketing of this value-added products opens the door to a wide range of job opportunities also.
Have you heard the term chemosynthesis? Let us discuss in detail how chemosynthesis differs from photosynthesis.
Chemo means chemicals and synthesis means to make. Chemo, chemicals, synthesis means to make. So can you say the definition for chemosynthesis? Chemosynthesis means it's a process of producing energy by breaking down chemical compounds. I repeat once again, the process of producing energy by breaking down chemical compounds. For example, sulfur bacteria. They synthesize the food by breaking down hydrogen sulfide. Breaking down hydrogen sulfide. Usually, sulfur bacteria is found in marshy areas. Marshy areas contain lot of hydrogen sulfide. So, they break down hydrogen sulfide to produce energy. So, sulfur bacteria is a good example for chemosynthesis.